All right, moving on to our all-important debate. Delhi's air pollution crisis continued to worsen as a thick layer of toxic smog blanketed the capital city and neighboring areas. As per official data, all 40 air quality monitoring stations across Delhi recorded AQI in at least severe category, with readings in multiple areas reaching the maximum measurable limit of 500. Visibility across the national capital region remained poor throughout the day. The severe air quality prompted the Commission for Air Quality Management to invoke stage 4 of GRAP. But air pollution crisis is not something new. It happens year after year after year, and one of the biggest reasons that is cited for air pollution is stubble burning. As per a report published by the environmental think tank International Forum for Environment, Sustainability and Technology, farmers in Punjab and Haryana are increasingly shifting stubble burning to late afternoon and evening hours to evade satellite detection, even as the overall area burnt this year has declined significantly. On the other hand, a study by ISRO researchers show how farmers have learned the time when satellites scan the region and delayed the time of peak fire activity. So as Delhi chokes again, what has caused this sudden surge is something that we will discuss with our panelists in the next half an hour. Joining us on the program at this point in time is Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman of Nephron Clinic, Mr. Indrashekhar Singh, Agri Policy Analyst, with us on the program as well, Mr. Dilip Cherian, Image Guru, joins us on the show as well, and last but not the least, Dr. MC Mishra, former Director of AIMS, is with us on the platform as well. Dr. Bagai, I'll begin with you. Well, technically speaking, sir, the Parali burning season is almost over, if not concluded, but still the AQI in Delhi continues to be at a level which is not only toxic, perhaps that's underestimating it. It's become deadly now. Even for younger people who don't have any ailments, there are frequent complaints coming in that they can actually feel things within their lungs when they breathe in and breathe out. This is no longer an irritant, Dr. Bagai. This is no longer a peripheral problem. It is becoming a health emergency. We are literally breathing in and out of a gas chamber.
Good evening, everyone. Vinny, thank you for addressing this. This is one of the most important things which is actually going to define our health, our existence, our livability, our next generation, and indeed, if we want to realize the dream of Viksit Bharat 2047. Just allow me a couple of minutes so that I set the preamble for this straight off. We are losing close to 3 million Indians every year directly because of air pollution. That's almost 30 to 40% of global deaths because of air pollution is occurring in India. We are losing equivalent to 10 to 11 years of adult lifespan living in Delhi directly because of air pollution. Every 22 units of AQI which increases is equivalent to smoking 1 cigarette for never smokers. That means including the winter months of 5 and the rest of the year in which the AQI is persistently high, an average Delhiite is smoking 7,000 to 8,000 cigarettes a year as never smokers. So you can well imagine what is happening. Every 10 micrograms increase of PM 2.5 increases the mortality of cardiac events, neurological events including strokes, heart attacks, and metabolic disturbances including diabetes, hypertension, and obesity by 200%. If you look at what needs to be done further, this is a public health emergency. The norms we have set for ourselves are inaccurate. We need to reset the GRAP norms. You can't have different norms for different states. That means Delhiites are not more resilient to fight or combat air pollution than Bombay. That means we need to set the bar at approximately 300 for GRAP 4, not wait till 500. The damage is already being done once it starts crossing 100. 300 is anyway far too much. But if you're going to wait till 500, you've already missed the bus. We need advisory, and the timing of advisory is from the government. We need this kind of awareness and these discussions 12 months a year, not only in winter. Let us address point form, what are the issues and what we can do. Look at traffic emission. We have to stop diesel vehicles, period. There has to be 100% subsidy for EV vehicles so that the environment is cleaner. Public transport for the last 10 years is still in shambles in Delhi. The simple question is why? The buses are not up to the mark. The metros don't have the last mile connectivity. There has to be in Delhi, in the highly congested areas, as what we call as no car zones, period. That's the best way forward. We have to have multi-level car parks with adequate car parking fees. You can't have a car mafia, auto mafia, and illegal bus mafia encroaching on the pavements and the roads. All encroachments and vendors which are blocking the pavements and roads have to go because they're obstructing traffic flow and causing traffic jams. All major cities worldwide have digital monitoring of traffic. We have none. Come to the second point of road dust, major contribution. When you see a road being dug, first by the cable network, then by the internet networks, then by Delhi Jal Board, then by MCD, PWD, various agencies, that's ridiculous. You can't keep opening the abdomen when the patient is on the table again and again, realizing that the next step has to still be done, but I have come out. It has to be in a coordinated manner. The road has to be tarred width to width. You can't leave patches of 2 feet on either side of the road which is dust filled. Road cleaning with a large broom by the MCD workers is Jurassic Park. All what you have done is you put the dust from the road up into the air, which remains suspended for hours, and then it goes and gets resettled elsewhere. So in reality, you've not removed the dust. The construction norms are in shambles. There is no proper manner in which the constructions are being done by the builders. Tree butchering. The builders are number one in removing the trees because they need better entrance into the homes. Fossil fuel and wood is still being used under every bridge, every flyover by the dwellers. Farm fires, whatever percentage they may be contributing to the pollution, but they are, and they are still burning. We need punitive fines for this. One farmer's convenience cannot be equivalent to 1,000 people dying in Delhi because of his convenience. Thermal plants and brick kilns are still in the radius of more than hundreds, are still in the vicinity of 200, 300 kilometers radius from Delhi. Tree felling is still happening, and NGT should take a very, very firm rule to push the punishment to the maximum. We need a dedicated air ministry. If we need to survive and we need to progress, we need clean air. Just 2 minutes more, Vineet. We need to focus on the hidden killers. We keep talking of PM 2.5 and PM 10. The question is, no one is talking of heavy metals. No one is talking of micro nanoplastic. An average Delhiite is inhaling 1.2 lakh microparticles of micro nanoplastic. All these are not only causing cardiac or metabolic or neurological defects, number one cause in infertility, number one cause of causing congenital defects in newborns. Pregnancies are being affected much before the conception. Imagine what we are doing to the next generation. Congenital heart disease, absent kidneys in newborns. All this is happening because of air pollution and micro nanoplastics. Open dhalaus are still existing in every colony, including here in Vasant Vihar where I stay. This is the number one cause of emitting plastics into the air as aerosols and gases like methane. Last, very important. I'm sorry, this cough is because of the air I'm breathing.
I'm sure, sir.
We cannot have superficial band-aid solutions. Artificial rain universally has shown to be a failure. Water sprinklers is only dealing with PM5 and PM10. It's not dealing with PM 2.5. So we are barking up the wrong tree. And last, smoke towers have always been a disaster, failures. Let's focus on it in a comprehensive manner. We need agencies which are including the local civic authorities, the pollution control, the air control. We need the chief minister coming out with an iron hand. We need a comprehensive policy. I know this year is wasted and many lives are lost. In Delhi itself, we are losing 12,000 extra deaths per year. Just imagine, last line, we have lost 6 to 7 lakh Indians in COVID in 4 years. We are losing more than 3 million Indians because of air pollution. That means we are having 24 times COVID deaths every year, and we don't want to talk about it. We need to bring the elephant out of the room. We need to address it. We need
I
solutions.
agree with you, sir. I agree with you, sir. Mr. Cherian, I never thought I would say this, but when the Aam Aadmi Party was in charge of Delhi, the odd even actually worked. I remember it worked, and I remember being challaned also for taking out an even numbered car on a odd day. But what is stopping this government from taking action? There are punitive deterrents being put here and there, but there's nobody to enforce it. If you burn anything out in the open, you'll be challaned 5,000 rupees. It's really coming down now to the citizen questioning the prudence as well as the intention of the government now.
That's exactly where we are. What Dr. Bagai said is absolutely right in terms of detail. So while there are some questions on the stats, the largest proportion at the moment seems to be vehicular pollution, and vehicular pollution is on account of ineffective vehicular movement. The problem is that we have got far too many cars on the road. Too many vehicles are using diesel, and we don't have an incentive structure for electric or hybrid vehicles. I think that is squarely in the zone of the central government to address the quality of cars and what it needs to be done to remove the large numbers of highly polluting cars. That's one. As far as last mile connectivity is concerned, it is the job of the state government. And I don't see the state government. They've introduced some buses, but I don't think those are moving effectively, fast, cheaply enough to make people use metro and use even buses as a means of commuting. I think we also need to make sure that the average car user has an incentive to use public transport. At the moment, she does not. She likes to drive right up to the shop in the marketplace or right up to the gate of the school. We need to figure out how do we ensure that the people who actually use cars need to use them less and are disincentivized to use them less. That's fundamental, and that's again something in the hands of the state government. Odd even is fantastic, but odd even is drastic and has its own set of issues in terms of policing. But I think, as you just said, it was done before, it has worked, and we need to do everything given the current situation. The second issue, which I think we don't pay enough attention to, is we like to blame the farmer. But actually, the same proportion as stubble burning is caused by biomass burning, which is happening in our cities. One proportion by these slum dwellers, but there's a huge proportion of illicit stuff being done by all kinds of industries which are processing copper or getting rid of tires to get something from the inside, etc. So we have a whole bunch of things that can be done on an emergency footing very fast. But the last, and I'll stop here because I know there are other experts on the subject, the last thing we need very, very importantly is better quality statistics. You still have 20 to 30% as other factors. Now you cannot do that. You have to be able to pinpoint each and every factor down to the last 5%. If you don't do that, you don't know what you need to control. And you just have to be scientific about this, because the kinds of deaths that Dr. Bagai spoke about would be intolerable in any country in the world. We want to be a several trillion economy, and in the Committee of Nations, we want to have our voice heard, but not when the country's people are dying in large numbers for reasons that can be prevented. I'll stop here.
All right, fair enough. Dr. Mishra, we already know about the health disadvantages, but there seems to be some sort of a policy paralysis also, which the citizens have to, more or less dodge with. We've been down this road multiple times in the past. Anchors and editors throughout the country are running out of questions to ask and ideas to invoke. It seems like we've reached a dead end. Is this a problem which is not solvable? It sounds very pessimistic.
Vineet, thank you so much for keeping this discussion. And I couldn't agree more with Dr. Bagai, with Dr. Dilip Cherian, and Indra. When he speaks, we all are on the same page. But are we doing enough? No, not. Nobody thinks that we are doing enough, neither from the citizen side nor from the government side. So we know the problem. There are solutions to the problem. Every problem is solvable. And I actually shared about 1 hour ago, somebody has prepared a video with problem and solution, and they have cited example of Beijing 10 years ago. And at the end, that anchor of that YouTube said that it is not that Beijing is authoritarian, that's why it could do it. They accepted that it's a dangerous problem, and there are solutions, and there are solutions which can be implemented in Beijing, naturally, because of the kind of administration there is. Partly that is also responsible for it, but they also had the similar kind of AQIs 10 years ago, and 10 years down the line, it has improved significantly. So I think there are multi-pronged strategy. Not be discussing in November, December when it is happening. It should be discussed March onwards, that what are they going to do. Every year, this has become a ritual actually, that we sit on various electronic media channels, we discuss this. Everybody knows what Dr. Bagai mentioned, what Dr. Cherian mentioned. We all know this problem. And unless we say that it is a dangerous situation, it's a life-threatening situation, it is potentially life-threatening situation, and these are the measures which have to be taken, some by the public, some by the government. So it has to be a joint effort. Today, almost 4 million people travel by metro. You can imagine if this metro was not there, all these people would be traveling either by motorcycle, because 72% of automobiles on our roads are two-wheelers, and then four wheels. As put together, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, the NCR has those many vehicles on the road, then commercial vehicles, individual vehicles. So how many of us are conscious that if we can travel husband and wife going, if some way we can combine one vehicle, how many of us think even that it comes to that? So I think it has to be done on the war footing. Industrial pollutants, industries have to be shifted outside the NCR zone. And it is not only Delhi, it is NCR basically. The pollution is there. If you go 300 or 250 kilometers to Jaipur, it is much less. If you go to Lucknow, it is much less. So it is basically because of the mountains, because of the Aravalli hills, because no wind in the winter season, air getting heavier, with all this dust, pollution, and naturally, as Dr. Cherian said, it is the automobiles on the road. And we can try odd and even, of course, every year on, and see that what is the impact it has, it will make. So we can start from there, at least from now onwards, this winter. But then we have to find solutions for future, that how can we relocate these industries, incentivizing those industries, and also giving them, like stubble burning. We keep crying and we can blame farmers, but are we giving them enough support? Have they been provided with enough machines to use to take out that stubble, which is not the case. And that's why they are compelled to burn because it's a quick fix solution for them. The next crop has to be sown. So I think there are a number of issues which need to be fixed.
Okay.
We all know the ill effects of pollution. There is no disagreement. There is no second thought on that. We are fixing, and particularly the children who are born and who are growing in Delhi NCR, they'll be the worst affected. And I can tell you that down the line, 20, 30 years, we may face epidemic of lung cancer. So this is something which is going to happen if we are not doing enough, and we don't do enough. We don't call it a war. It has to be done on war footing. We cannot do cosmetic measures like the water sprinklers or the cloud, what the artificial clouds and all that. That doesn't work,
Right,
basically.
sir. Right, sir. Right, sir. Let me also rope in Inder into this conversation. Inder, if an epidemic of lung cancer in the next couple of decades doesn't scare the government, I am not sure what else can we say on this debate to shake them up.
First of all, it's quite disheartening that such experts and all of us are today giving testimonies of this slow murder of Delhi that is happening, and yet no one is acting against it, and no one is acting to save our lives. It's actually deeply disheartening for this to happen to all of us. But I'm not going to keep talking about the problem, but maybe try and give a few solutions if anyone is listening. First of all, we've tried all the industrial solutions and they have failed given our geographical location. Geography puts us at a disadvantaged point. So we must now reorient towards nature-based solutions and actually increase the sequestration capacity of the soil and also rejuvenate nature around us. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that we have to have an active rejuvenation program that begins in Punjab and goes all the way down to Banaras. We need to have that scale of a rejuvenation program to safeguard not just Delhi, but safeguard all of our water, which is now being poisoned by chemicals, industrial chemicals and agricultural chemicals. Our air, which is now a toxic concoction of vehicular emissions, of industrial emissions, and other pollutants. So we have to have waterland, wetland rejuvenation. Why are we not restoring Delhi's wetlands? What is happening to the small ponds and the tradition of building small reservoirs in all across these lands? The hand pump and excessive irrigation is destroying that ancient culture. And we need to get it back because that's how wetlands absorb all these pollutants that are flying around. So we have completely decimated our natural resilience and spent a lot of money in corruption and feeding industrial friends, because we've practically seen all the money that is gone has not helped the problem. So now it's the right time to think ecologically, think based on the merits and the wisdoms of our own culture. We talk about Indian and we talk about being Bharatiya, but what solutions are we implementing? They're all Videshi solutions.
All right, fair enough. Inder, we've run out of time, but I value and appreciate your points, and of course of the other panelists who spoke about the dangers of pollution and how ignoring it is no longer an option. It's time, and it necessitates action on a war footing. Thank you, everyone.